Shalom. When the start of was but give no praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Kakodash, double honor to the apostle, great millstone, and honor to brothers doing work the most on truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's raw name of whom the word ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh. His raw name is Yahweh, and his son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba meaning in, Ha meaning done, Shah meaning name, so Yahweh, the name of Yahweh Shai. This one is on. It's from Haaretz. Haaretz. So you see, I'm just gonna scan through it, read through it as quick as possible. Speak on the different relevant points and whatever, what have you. Right. This is published January the 12th, 2023. And then obviously I'm gonna have to omit certain words and stuff like that. But it says this particular individual argues that all, what do you call it, so-called black people are that were there, right? This is what inspired his flawed views. Right now, even just starting off from, this title, there's a lot of witchcraft in this particular title, right? Because, one, it's pushing once again that notion that it is all, right? Where actually no, it's not all. It's a segment, right? Not all so-called black people are Israelites, right? That's that confusion that Esau wants to sow, and that's why whenever he gets his grubby little hands on anything, right? What do? We filter out through the scriptures, right? Exactly what it is that he's saying, right? Let's just grab that real quick. This is Psalms 58 from 3. It says, "The wicked are strained from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, right? Their poisons as like the poison of a serpent. They're like the death out of that stoppeth their ear, right? Which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely." Right, poison representing philosophies there in verse 4. But yeah, that's it. These men are liars. Okay, right? Their tongue frameth deceit, right? They're always telling some form of lie. So the way this is carefully crafted, and you see that in several occasions throughout this article, right? How words and statements are crafted very carefully to, control the narrative. Right, it says in it, so go back to the article. Infamous tweet by basketball star Ki drew attention to a film asserting that black Americans, but once again, what's with all of this black? Right, scripture says that we shall be scattered amongst all nations. Right, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 64. It says, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Right? So you're going to have Israelites that, look all kind of ways, right? Let's grab this one. This is Hosea 7 and 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. And when you look into it, right, it means various shades of brown, right? And that's it. Israel, and this is just Ephraim. Ephraim is all kinds of shades, right? But then you go and have Israelites that don't look that same way. They don't have that same look, if you will, right? Let's see this as an example. Isaiah 11:11. Let's grab that real quick. Where is it? Where'd it go? Right, it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea." And hey, guess what? You even gonna have some of those so-called, those inhabitants of our land, right? Currently, some of those that hey, we say some of them go to be Jakes, man. You think about Amy Winehouse, right? That's a nigga woman, man. Okay. So once again, these guys are trying to control the narrative, trying to push something that is, not necessarily accurate. Okay. And by not even not necessarily, it's just not accurate. It's a lie. Okay. There's so many other different precepts on the matter, right? But I'm gonna, what do you call it? In fact, just because we're on the top, this is Joel 3 and 2. "I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Yahushua and will plead with them there," which means judge. Plead means judge there in the Hebrew, Mashaphat. Is Mashaphat, right? not just Shabbat this time. It says, with them for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right? So Israel's been scattered among the nations, and guess what? These guys have gone and done what? They parted our land. Man, is that not what you see today, where you've got one slither that is given, to those Palestinians, right? And you got the rest of it, which is taken by those people. Okay. So continuing on, unless I'll either read it really quick, or I will just jump around. I want to get at least all of it in short. So if you wanted to read it, you can read it on your own. Just because this website ain't free, like as you see, it's just subscribe and all of that. So if you basically miss, you get like one article that you can read. So this is my one article for the month, right? So it says less than 20 minutes into the film, Hebrews Negroes wake up. It says viewers are told that they have those people. So for the rest of the video, call reference it as those people. Yeah, when you see this word, I'm going to say those people. So I've established 5 major falsehoods. It says the aim is to bolster the filmmaker's assertion that our people, well, I mean that's not it, but because once again the point being made is we aim this word, okay, right? So whose identity was robbed by those people, hence the alleged falsehoods, right? And then you could read that. It says the 2018 film posits that these and other lies, right, are designed to perpetuate the power acquired by those people over thousands of years of deceptions, right? Now thousands of years ain't so, right? But the earth has been given into your hand, right? Who's the chief house of Esau, right? Edom. That's it. Who's the chief house of Esau / Edom, right? The Amalekites, right? Which are those people, right? Says the earth is given in Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right now, when you look into roundabout from the time of the Renaissance period, that's what this man has been going around doing, right? He's been going around covering the faces of the judges thereof, right, by something called iconoclasm, right? Let's pull that in here, move to another group, right? So there you see, iconoclasm literally means image breaking and refers to a recurring historical impulse to break or destroy images for religious or political reasons, right? So for example, in ancient Egypt, the carved visages of some pharaohs were obliterated by their successor. During the French Revolution, images of the kings were defaced. Now let's see what we actually get shown here, right? Because I don't think they're going to show you would you call it the monk, the basic picture of like a monk basically over painting, because this is it, man. There were times when you'd Google stuff back in the day and you'd be able to get good stuff, right? But nowadays you don't really see that, right? Here's looks like a dark so-called black man, right? You see the fro there and the beard, right? But yeah, that's that, and that's what this man's been doing. But the earth has been given into his hand, right? So he's the one that's in control over this earth at the moment, right? It says, and once again, it's being very careful, which brothers know this. Anyone new watching, right? Is being when he frames certain statements like this, right? The 28th film posits that these and other lies, right? So one, you've not told what the other lies are, so then it's basically leaving the reader to think, well, everything else is a lie, because they've not distinguished what they say are lies, right? Because this is the thing, he doesn't have to do due diligence when he's making these statements. He can just make these wild, outlandish statements, and everyone, listens to what he says. But that is one of the things that was going to happen, right? It's Sirach 13:23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him, right? And you'll see that, either here or in one's own personal life, right? Where you'll be just talking, and then you'll slip up. You might use a word incorrectly, right? So we ain't eloquent orators like that, okay? But he will have a field day, and then the thing is, they'll stop even dealing with what it is that you're talking about and just completely focus on, as they call it, a faux pas, right? And it's French, so it's spelt funny. Let's bring it here as well, right? It says faux pas. It says an embarrassing or tactless act or remark in a social situation, right? So then, yeah, it's it's embarrassing, but hey, that's just that's it. Whereas Esau can make a faux pas and get away with it, right? Because he's got that look, right? He's in the power seat at the moment. Says the filmmakers argued that those people didn't act alone in an attempt to prove that their ancestors were the true Israelites. Well, that's in the precepts, right? That is Psalms the 83rd chapter. It says, keep Psalms 83 from the top. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Right, so all the heathen nations, the enemies, and these are our enemies. This is a problem with our people. Our people don't understand that we have enemies. Okay, it says they have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Right? So I'm just getting a load of bloody notifications, just making sure it ain't nothing important. No, it's all good. Right, just Satan distracted, man. So it says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. Right? The tabernacles of who? What's the first name you see here? Edom, man. Right? And who's the head of Edom? Those people. Right? Those people, man. Right? Those people. Right, it says, and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek. Now, the Philistines were the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also was joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. So what do we see here? Right? Does this not sound like a confederacy? Does this not sound like people coming together? So continuing on, right, it says H2N, which serves up ancient conspiracy theories, would have been chucked directly into there. Once again, they've not gone out and is the thing, right? Once again, we're expected to sit here and say, you've gone off here, you've gone off there, that's not here, that's not right. Whereas they can just like throw out these buzzwords, right, and then not even qualify them. Right, which when something is written in this kind of fashion, right, one then comes up and asks the question, why, if you will. We can ask that question. I ran out of words, but I couldn't find out the words that I wanted to say, but why? And the answer is because they've got an agenda, right? An example of this, for example, is on what is this program, man? GB News, right? They were talking about a statement that one of the conservative MPs had made, right, where basically the MP had quoted a doctor who had said the V, where has been the worst, would you call it, the worst crime against humanity since the H, right? The HO, right? The HOL, right? You can fill out the rest of the letters, right? But then the GB News, all of a sudden, this is supposed to be some anti-establishment news publisher, right? But guess what they were saying? They were saying, oh, I can't believe he said this. That needs to be, it's good that he had his position removed. Going to show you what? Going to prove what? That channel is just a part of the establishment. Right, that's, for example, is another reason why we know, and I believe the apostles brought it out a while back, right? About Alex Yakanat, right? John's how is how you say it, right? That individual, right? Because whenever it comes to those people, he has nothing to say. It says the tweet set off a firestorm across social media. Irving was denounced as that amid calls for the league to sanction him. Right. It says after suspension of KI met with the leaders of those people, right, who outlined for him the real history. Well, and you see this here, that the way that's phrased, the real history, right, of those people, right, it ain't real, right? It ain't real. We know your real history, right? Let's jump to Job, the 30th chapter. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to set in with the dogs of my flock. Why? Right, because they would have ended up, popping those animals, man. Right? It says younger than the Edomites are quote unquote younger than the Israelites, man. Right? They're inferior. Right? Then also you can look at this precepts also say Israel my firstborn. It says, yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time desolate and waste. Right? They were what I was going to say in a second, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Right? So no one wanted these devils around. Right? There's that film The Croods. Right? And in it, right, they basically let's put that on the screen. And I found it very interesting as well, this film, because the hue, if you will, is like the color, right, was kind of one of those. It was kind of the characters, right. It wasn't straight up white, but it had a little bit of a hint of pigmentation to them, right. So I was like, right, what's he trying to say there? But then when you actually look at the cast, right, you basically see it's all E, right? So rather individuals that look like E, because you got some Jakes among this cast, right? Israelite foreigners amongst this cast. But in those films and in those shows, it basically makes it seem like 50 billion years ago. So E can make it seem like this wasn't him just yesterday. No, this was you yesterday, bro. Right? Try hide up your history all you want, but this was just you yesterday. Right? And once again, this man has built a whole scientific system, a whole scientific model, right, to hide the fact that he was in the caves just the other day. Right? So this is your true history. Okay? Right? Up until this point, but before that, you was known as what? You was known by a real biblical name, which is the Edomites, man. Right? And once again, with those people rather, right? They are, Amalek, right? Says, says didn't help. Knight cut ties with them. Yada yada yada. Soon became clear that the tweet's repercussions weren't limited to the net stars. Irvin shone a light on a, once again, great use of the word, right? Group, but these times, would you call it? The scriptures say this. This is 2 Corinthians 10:4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds, right? And that's it. Right? Ours is a spiritual fight, right? A spiritual army is being raised up. Esau wants to try and make it carnal because this is it. This is what an enemy does. An enemy wants to pull you into his court, right? Let's say you got two armies fighting. One is good in the air and one is good on the sea. The one that's good in the air is going to want to keep the fight in the air. But the one that's good in the sea is going to want to bring you, or rather land and sea is probably a better example, right? But the one that's, the army that's not so good on land is going to try and bring you into the sea. We're going to try to corner you into the sea, right? I don't know if that was a good example, but I hope the point has been made. Right? Esau's trying to make this a carnal fight, but it ain't. Right? This is Zephaniah 3:3-8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me. And that's all we can do. We can wait upon the Lord, because if we succumb, right, and then make and try to fight the war the way Esau wants us to fight, guess what? We gonna lose. And not only just lose, we gonna lose and lose bad. Right, so until the day that I rise up to the prey for my determination, which this word is mashapatan, which means once again, to judge, right? Is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So the Lord is gonna fight for us. Continuing on, I realize I'm running out of time, so I'm just gonna just skim as much, see if there's anything else. In the week since, dozens of scholarly articles have been written about the movement, with spokespeople invited to TV studios to argue for or against the claim, right, that we are the real. But once again, still pushing that that B word, right. The film has become a hit on Amazon, and then once again, the R word and then the A word, right. Whether the apology was sincere, he was not alone. Sympathetic audience in what you call it, KW. The rapper, fashion designer, and entrepreneur. West was recently suspended from Twitter. That's it. The statements that are directly linked to those tropes may have come out in 2018, but very few people had heard about it until KI's tweet. And then he speaks about that guy. And it says the film can be rented or purchased on Amazon, which cited freedom of expression in not removing it from its online store. So that's all Amazon was able to say, and then that was the end of the conversation, right? But then when it came to the Jakes, guess what? They had issues, right? And this is the thing as well. He's using this to try and push, the direction of where people should go. Right, in terms of looking, Esau's all about that confusion, all about trying to, promote, well, I said confusion, but what does the scripture say in 1 Corinthians 14? Right, the Most High is not the author of confusion. Right, like I said, it's been going on for a while, so I think I'm just gonna start wrapping it up a little bit. I'm just scrolling down. You can take screenshots, pause, and go into it as you please. And that's it, man. So yeah, man. Hey, these. In fact, let me just scroll. Let me give you time to take some screenshots or pause it or whatever. All right. You see this in 2020, 42% of respondents who considered that word embraced that word stereotypes, compared with 15% of their E-looking counterparts. So these findings and the statements by the 2Ks reflect deep trends that are worrying, right? And why are they worrying? Scripture says this, all right. The wicked flee when no man pursues, man. No one's pursuing you, right? This is Proverbs 28:1. The wicked flee where no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. And now it's a great place to stand, actually. This is Wisdom 5. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness. And that's what Esau's seeing. He's pissed, man. He's scared. Jeremiah 28:8 also, right? The prophet that have been before me and before thee of all prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war, of evil, and of pestilence, right? Basically, that's, and Esau seeing us around. He's like, yo, oh shit, my kingdom's about to fall down, right? So, Wisdom 5:1 again, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, right? Primarily the Edomites, right? Amalek being the chief house of Edom, right? But also, as we read in Psalms the 83rd chapter, all of these different heathen nations too, right? All these heathen nations are going to get it, right? It goes on to say, I made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Right, so as always what I was edifying. Until the next time, in fact, let's just speak on this. That strangeness of salvation, that's these chariots that these devils are also seeing, which is another reason why they're getting scared. It's another reason why they're trying to take, trying to take control of the narrative, right? But it's too late, right? The something is out the bag. I'm terrible with phrases. Is it the cat is out the bag? I'm just looking it up. The cat is. Yeah, the cat is out the bag. The cat is out of the bag, right? It says, and let's just grab this, sorry, real quick. Push this here as well. Right? It says letting the cat out the bag, also box, is a colloquialism meaning to reveal facts previously hidden. Right? Ain't that what the Lord has been doing? This is Amos 3:7. It says, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. All right. So it could revert to revealing a conspiracy, friendly or not, to its target, letting an outsider enter an inner circle of knowledge, explaining an in-joke of or the revelation of a plot twist in a movie or play. It is also known as to reveal a secret carelessly or by mistake. But hey, the Lord ain't been careless about this. The Lord has been meticulous, right, about the way this truth has come out, right? And it's been coming out. So once again, as always, Lord's what I was edifying. I went a little bit long. But yeah, until next time we say Shalom.